To Live is my favorite Chinese film. It's directed by Zhang Yimou. He was the director behind the opening ceremonies of the 2008 Beijing Olympics. He's made a couple of nice films. He's probably most famous for his kung fu film Hero, which was kind of a big spectacle film. This one's a much more quiet film. It was made in 1994, the same year as Forrest Gump, and in many ways, this film for China is kind of like the Forrest Gump of China, in the way that Forrest Gump is the Forrest Gump for the United States. What I mean by that is, in Forrest Gump, you have an individual who's moving forward through time, and he experiences various important events in American history, in recent American history. Similarly, in To Live, you see this family going through the recent Chinese history. And when I say the recent Chinese history, I guess starts more or less in the I would say the 50s, and ends around the 80s, I think. So a little bit different, but same principle. You don't have a lot of CG in To Live like there is in Forrest Gump, but you've got a lot of humor. I think both films have a lot of humor. Both films have moments where it has a strong emotional pull, and it tugs at your heartstrings and makes you want to cry a little bit, right? In this aspect, To Live does a much better job than Forrest Gump. I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. Is it more depressing? Well, it's the one film that can make me cry, and I really am emotionally affected by the end of this film. And the story of the family that goes through these things is the story of many families that lived through the Cultural Revolution. But it's not a movie that's just there just to make you feel sad. There's moments where it's really uplifting. It makes you laugh. And these people are from a completely different culture. In Forrest Gump, if you're from the United States or you're from Western culture, you can more easily relate to them, or it's more natural to relate to Forrest Gump, because you know the setting. You can relate to a lot of the elements in there. But you'll be surprised that, I think you'll surely be surprised that with To Live, even though it's taking place in China with a history that we didn't really experience at all, it's just as relatable, it's just as understandable, and it touches your heart very easily. So anyways, I highly recommend this film. It's the best Chinese film ever made, in my opinion. It's also a very watchable film. It doesn't really drag at any point. It's sort of a melodrama. It's got all kinds of points in the plot where I guess you could say it's almost unrealistic that this would happen, but who cares? Because it pushes the story forward, and the goal of the movie is not to be realistic necessarily, in the same way that Forrest Gump is not necessarily meant to be realistic, but it's meant to tell a story and share a history, and also help you connect with this individual. You connect with Forrest Gump in the same way as you connect with the characters in To Live. Highly recommend this film. I think this one may be available for free on YouTube, so I'll include that link below in the description. Hope you can check it out.